Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we're going to be taking a look at Spacerek by D16 Audio and a pretty cool technique you can do with it. Alright, so here we are in FL Studio, and I've got here an intro that I'm just about done with, moving into creating some of the drop and a couple other elements. And let me go ahead and just play it for you first. And you can see I've got 4 Spacereks, so 4 reverbs, and I'm mixing them in and out to create an interesting movement of the sound throughout the intro. So let's go ahead, let's hear this. All right, so that's where we're at right now. Still working on the stuff over there. And we can see that there's 4 reverb automations, and they pretty much repeat. There's one that's different. So this one was just done after messing around with this section a bit, as adding in some additional chords and things, and trying to make a part that really grooved. And it's got an extremely retro vibe to it, which I really like. So let's go ahead and solo the harmor. So this is the thing making the chord sound that's got the 4 reverbs on it. So essentially the way that this works is I already had created the wobble sound, and if we were to turn these off, this is what I had arrived at. So extremely filtered at the beginning. The wobble movements are happening. That's what this right here is. And we begin to slightly open up, and at the very end, it opens up all the way. And then I thought, hey, this would be really cool to sort of have it moving around in space and doing a bunch of interesting things. And so that is exactly what these 4 things are here for. This is just to make it sound a bit older. So if we turn these on, and this is going to be more obvious over headphones, especially since it's so heavily filtered at the beginning, which it originally wasn't. This has the effect of sort of just pushing things around in an interesting way. And let's give this a listen. So there's a really obvious change right there. So you can see one fades out, the other's fading in. So a bunch of cross fading effects. One fades out, the other fades in. And that's the general idea. So let's do it again. Here's before. And then after. It sounds like it's way on the sides, and then it sucks in, and then it pushes, and as it opens, it pushes back out. You can get some really awesome effects this way. And if you have one sound that's really the focus of what's happening, which in this case is kind of this chord sound, this is a really great way to add a lot of interest. It is a bit processor heavy. If I play it, you can see we're idling at 11, and if I play it, I'm jumping up into the 60s, and that's sort of the price you pay for using something like this. This is going to be true just in general if you start stacking plugins like this. So just be aware of that. That's why it works in this case as well as it does musically, because it's just one sound. But also I have the opportunity cost to be able to put this many reverbs and not have to worry too much about processing, because I don't have a lot of other sounds going on at this moment in time. If we were to go, let me make this window sit on top. If we were to go back to the beginning and just give this a listen. So here it was before. All right, let's do it after. Yeah, so it's a lot harder to, I think, hear directly. It's a very much in the background. It mixes things and adds sort of a layer of, I would call it mist, but some would call it mud. Some would call it, whatever. It becomes more vague. It's a lot less clear. And these are lower frequencies, which we just aren't as good at sort of picking apart as we are in the upper range. And so this just sort of creates this like lower bed of atmosphere, which is what I was sort of going for here. And then I also have, so you see these other things, these are to supplement when I pull them out. So right here, I actually decided to completely replace it and put a slightly different patch there. And when you have everything all together, it sort of blends with the reverb. So the reverb itself is creating like a great bed, and then I'm feeding into it other synths and sounds and things to sort of push it the last little way. So if you're curious with the ones I settled on, I went with the cornered guitar, and I just went with all presets for this. I just decided, hey, let's pick 4 or 5 different reverbs that sound really cool and sort of mix between them. The direct impact, the long howl, and finally the recording session 4. So those were the ones that I went with, and it's a really great way to sort of add a lot of interest to a particular sound. And of course, you want to be aware of some of the trade-offs. In this case, I wanted to make sure that I had room to do this kind of processing, or you could always create the process, bounce it to audio, and then keep moving, and that way you don't have to deal with the processor overhead every time you're playing the part. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.